Hello friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. Today we are looking into what it is that your person thinks that you're feeling. And I have 4 piles for you guys to choose from. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy, as well as with your person's energy, and I will see you in a minute. Hello pile 1, if you chose this red-tailed hawk card with the keyword dive and the question what is ready for action, then this is going to be your reading on how your person thinks you are feeling. And how we're going to do it is we are going to look into oracles when it comes to how they think you're feeling about them, about the situation between the two of you. We're also going to look into oracles on how they think you're currently viewing them. And then we'll get into tarot and we will look into how these assumptions about what you're feeling is making them feel. So we already have the red-tailed hawk here. We also have number 20, divinity. Number 32, healer. Number 36, come to the edge, Eros, and number 73, restlessness. So what is it that your person thinks that you're feeling currently? Your person really feels as though you're very attracted to them, for one. That's coming through very strongly. It seems as though there's a lot of desire for this person, both physically, but also I feel as though this is something that they feel you desire in terms of just emotional intimacy as well. It seems as though they feel like you really want to take this connection to the next level. You really want to continue progressing this connection. You really want to dive deep with this person. And they get the feeling that you are feeling impatient. Things aren't happening as quickly as you would like. And the impatience is coming from the fact that you feel as though this is something that's really special. It feels like it's a really special connection to you from their perspective. It seems like one in which you are all in, as well as one in which you think that there's definitely a spiritual purpose or reasoning behind why the two of you have met. I do think it's interesting that we have healer here, because there's a pretty unique message that's coming through with this card, and part of it is that your person feels as though you think or you feel like perhaps this connection hasn't come to where it is that you would like it to be, because this person has healing to do. It seems to feel like this person feels like you are wanting them to change, or from your perspective heal, and if that's not resonating, if that doesn't sound like something your person would be thinking based on like how you've been communicating with them, it feels kind of like perhaps they view you as somebody who is kind of facing your fears in this connection. With this healer card here, they seem to think that you're feeling as though you've really come a long way, and grown and evolved and expanded in your own self with the help of this connection. So that's what I'm seeing for what it is that they think that you are feeling. They think that you feel, I would say for a lot of you, they think that you love them, but this love is kind of coming across most strongly as a physical attraction that's being expressed through physical desire. Which isn't to say that they don't feel as though you feel that strongly in other aspects as well, but that just seems to be the most prominent energy that's coming through when it comes to the type of desire that it is. So yeah, that's what they think that you are currently feeling. Let's go ahead and look into how they think you're currently viewing them. So for that we have cheetah, mediator, and the light attributes are gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument, and the shadow attributes are negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. And we have moose, and the key word is release. So they seem to be under the impression that you feel as though they have all of the power, or they have everything in which they would need in order to move this connection along. And for some reason, they're not. It seems as though if you look at these two cards, the moose and the cheetah are both very masculine energies. The cheetah goes after what it is that it wants. It takes action. It knows when the timing is right. And the moose is a creature that pursues what it wants, but also allows things to kind of be released when the timing is right. And these two masculine energies are facing away from each other. It seems to me that this person feels as though you see them as somebody who is conflicted in what it is that they want. And because of this, they're not taking any action. It seems like they're kind of trying to play like the middle ground, or kind of walk a tight line so as not to lead you on, or do anything that would go against what they authentically want, while at the same time not disappointing you. They think that you're seeing them as somebody who is not necessarily taking the actions that you would like, nor are they being completely or entirely forthright with their reasoning behind it, or perhaps with the choice that they would like to make. It seems like you're viewing them from their perspective as somebody who confuses them in a way. So that's what I'm seeing for that. Let's go ahead and keep in mind that this is coming from their perspective. This is through the lens of them. So this doesn't necessarily have to be the case. However, I think that like some things should definitely be resonating if they're if this is your pile. If none of this is resonating, then this probably isn't your pile. But let's go ahead and look into how they feel about these assumptions that they're making. Okay, how does this make pile one's person feel? We have the Page of Cups. We have Justice. How does this make them feel? We have the Four of Swords. How does this make pile one's person feel? We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Cups. Why is the Page of Cups here? We have the Empress. Why is Justice here? We have the Page of Swords. Why is the Four of Swords here? We have the Two of Wands. Why is the Ace of Pentacles here? We have the Six of Wands. And why is the Nine of Cups here? We have the Five of Swords. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so I would say that this person simply does not feel ready to progress this connection at the same speed in which they think that you are ready to progress this connection. It feels like when they think about how they think you're feeling or how they think you're viewing them, they kind of shut down. They kind of get overwhelmed and take a step back and want to kind of freeze in a sense, because they don't feel necessarily ready to make a decision. And I get the feeling that they know that they need to make a decision. But it seems like at the moment, they're not quite sure what the right decision would be. It seems like they're almost happy with where things are at. And if things were to change in either direction, they wouldn't feel fulfilled. They feel as though if they were to progress this more quickly, they would be successful. The connection would be successful in certain aspects, but it's not necessarily like truthful to how they're currently feeling. It seems like they're wanting this to really happen very slowly. With the Page of Cups and the Empress, this is very youthful, very well, the Page of Cups is a very youthful type of immature kind of emotional energy of perhaps somebody who is wanting to explore their heart space and wanting to explore what it is that they'd like to offer you. But at the same time, with the Empress here, what this is indicating is the fact that something needs to grow first. The Empress is all about fertility and birthing, but that happens with time. That's something that cannot be rushed. But they recognize that, like, perhaps there isn't necessarily I get the feeling that they feel as though it's a little bit unfair, not based on how you're feeling or not based on anything that you're doing, but it's almost like they recognize that you deserve this. Like, they recognize that what it is that you want, or the progress that is kind of being called upon the both of you to kind of reach for when it comes to this connection, is something that is natural and healthy and right, but at the same time they just don't feel ready. And it's not that they don't feel ready because they simply don't want this. It's just that the timing isn't right entirely. But if they were to wait for the right timing according to when they would feel ready, the opportunity would probably pass them by. But I sense that this person does want progress. They just want something much slower. They want to slow things down, is the biggest thing that I'm picking up on here. But let's go ahead and get some more oracles and see if anything else comes through, if there's anything that I missed. How does pile one's person feel? Okay, we have abundance, flow. How are they currently feeling? And we have movement. Yeah, all of this is telling me with abundance, flow, and movement, it feels these three cards together energetically, and then the bottom of the deck energy is anxiety. Energetically, what these three cards are kind of giving me an image of is of a lake that's overflowing, or a flood that's happening, a river that is flooding, and it's happening much faster than what they would like. It's moving very quickly, and while water is something that is necessary for growth and abundance, too much of it at once can feel kind of disruptive or destructive. And that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. This person feels overwhelmed or rushed. Yeah, let's go ahead. That's what I'm seeing for you guys. Let's go ahead and get some advice for you before we end this reading. What advice is there? Okay, so we have every cell in my body is conscious and communicates with each positive thought I have. What advice is there for pile one when it comes to their connection with this person? We have owning my power inspires others to do the same. I am not afraid to shine. I think that this is really beautiful, especially if this is resonating with you with how they might be feeling. I think this card is really encouraging you to remember that just because this person is feeling this way doesn't necessarily mean that you have to make yourself smaller. Of course, it's wonderful when everyone's feelings are considered, but obviously there are many different facets to connections, and yours is very unique, and I'm a stranger, so I'm not quite sure what's going on between the two of you besides what I've seen in these cards. So take those how they resonate first and foremost. But pile one, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this resonated, please share in the comment section. I love reading about all the ways in which different piles have resonated for people. So please feel free to share if you feel called to do so. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. The link is in the description box in the bottom of this video. And thank you so much. I hope that you will give me another chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye. Hello, pile two. If you chose this prairie soil card with the keyword hold and the question, what riches do I carry within? Then this is going to be your reading on what your person thinks that you are currently feeling. And how we're going to do this is we're going to look at oracles to figure out what it is that they're currently thinking you're feeling. We're going to look into oracles to see how they think you're viewing them. And then we'll get into tarot to see how these assumptions that they are making them feel. So yeah, the first card for how they think you're feeling is this card. We also have number 38, veiled, number 26, boundaries, number 33, chaos and conflict, the offering, number 18, repopulation, the medallion, number 44, thinker, and 22, service. Okay, so what does this person think that you're feeling? This person feels as though you're pretty upset with them, I would say. There's anger here, or definitely mistrust, I would say. There's a feeling of like your back being turned on this person. It kind of feels as though your person is recognizing that you have seen the truth, seen a truth of some kind that perhaps was being hidden from you, and your perspective is shifting when it comes to how you feel about them. It seems as though this was something where perhaps in the past you thought that this connection was going to be very long-term. It was something that was very, very special. It felt like a gift of some kind. And it seems as though, even though this is the case, it seems like your person feels like you're letting this go. You're letting go of this connection. You're almost sacrificing this connection for your own good, is what I would say. They feel as though you're recognizing your worth, you're recognizing what it is that you have within yourself, and you're comparing that to who they are, or what it is that they hold within themselves, what it is that they value. And it seems as though you're, in their perspective, you're recognizing that you can do much, much better than this. Your person feels as though you have cut them off completely energetically. They feel as though you are regaining a sense of self, or again, a sense of self-worth. They feel as though you are kind of nurturing and tending to yourself during this time. There may be a little bit of overthinking that they think that you might be kind of participating in. Like when you do think of this, you can't necessarily wrap your head around it entirely. They feel like you feel as though there's been too much damage done to this connection, and the damage that has been done has left you feeling a little bit lost, but you're coming back from that feeling of being lost, and you're leveling up, you're glowing up, you're remembering who you are, and you're cutting the cord as many times as you need to. Yeah, that's what I would say. It seems like they're seeing you as somebody who's taking their power back. They think you feel like you're taking your power back by putting walls up, by creating boundaries, by cutting this person off, by remembering your worth, by remembering what was hidden from you for so long, by remembering what you deserve. Yeah, so if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into how it is that you think, or how it is that they think you are currently viewing them. So for that, we have angel, and the light attribute is helping those in need with no expectation in return. And the shadow attributes are acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. We also have the vulture and bobcat, and the key word for bobcat is variety. They seem to think that you have figured them out, or they seem to think that you no longer trust them, is what I would say. But there's an element here with it with the vulture being here, there's an element of them feeling as though you see them as something menacing or scary. The vulture represents death, and it represents parts of life that a lot of us don't necessarily want to look at. But the vulture is actually really important to our ecosystem. It helps bring things back into balance. It cleanses the environment. And I kind of get the feeling that they feel as though you're almost taking in a sigh of relief that they behaved in this poor way, because now this ending has happened and this is no longer your problem. They seem to think that you see them as a player, perhaps with this bobcat energy. They seem to think you see them as somebody who doesn't really have any boundaries within themselves or any values within themselves that they hold themselves to. And that can be just based on how they see themselves, how they act, and hold themselves accountable, but also perhaps just there's somebody who will take any opportunity that is presented to them without much thought to the consequences of the aftermath of that. This person seems to think that you don't necessarily see them as a very good person, is what I would say. One word that just came to mind was trash, and take that how it resonates for you. But I think that there's something to be said from what just popped into my mind based on how they're thinking you see them, because what this is telling me is that they are aware of this poor behavior. They're aware of the pain that they potentially caused you. So if that is still resonating, let's go ahead and get into how this makes them feel. How are they feeling about all of this? How does this make pile 2's person feel? How does this make pile 2's person feel? Seems cut off, closed off. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. How does this make pile 2's person feel? The Six of Cups. the Ace of Swords, the King of Wands, okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Why is the Queen of Wands here? Why is the Queen of Wands here? We have the Six of Swords, okay, why is the Six of Cups here? We have Justice. Why is the Ace of Swords here? We have the Ten of Swords. Why is the King of Wands here? Okay, we have the Knight of Swords. Okay, and then why is the Wheel of Fortune here? We have the Five of Swords, and then on the back of the deck we have the Seven of Swords. Yep. This person recognizes the amount of harm that they potentially caused you, or the amount of damage that they've done to this connection. They feel guilt is what I would say. They're, with the Seven of Swords being the bottom of the deck energy, this is absolutely an acknowledgement of them not having been forthright, honest, or perhaps compassionate in their communications with you, perhaps. There's something here about them they don't feel good about themselves. They don't feel like a very good person right now, is what I would say. And this Knight of Swords came out reversed, if I remember correctly, because I remember wondering what the King of Wands was going to be clarified by, and when it came out reversed, it made sense to me. They don't feel, I mean, we have the Six of Cups and Justice. This person recognizes that they owe you an apology, 100%. They recognize that, like, there is probably some karma coming their way. They recognize that they harmed somebody that they deeply cared for. I think it's interesting that we have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, because this is telling me that they view you as somebody who was genuinely their partner, who was genuinely their friend, depending on what the context of this connection was. And they let you down, and they feel as though, what I would say is that they feel as though there's nothing that they can do to stop you from leaving, to stop you from moving on and finding peace. They feel what they're feeling right now with the Six of Swords, clarifying the Queen of Wands, is your energy leaving them. They feel you disappearing energetically. If you haven't already physically left, they are very much aware of the fact that this is something that you would have every right to do. And they don't feel worthy of coming after you with this Knight of Swords reversed. They don't feel as though they have any right to try to pursue your energy. I think they feel kind of selfish with this Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Swords energy. What this is telling me is that they weren't necessarily thinking things through when whatever transpired between the two of you happened. And they decided to take a very selfish route without regard to the consequences. And they feel as though they've ruined it for themselves. Like, they don't feel happy, is what I would say. With this Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Swords, there's acknowledgement that not only did they hurt you, but they also hurt themselves. And with the Ace of Swords and the Ten of Swords here, they feel as though the story is done. They feel as though they've ruined it. And it's painful. There's pain here. Let's keep going. Let's see what else comes through. How does this make pile two's person feel? We have hunger. Leave that there. We have ghost. energy and death. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have love. Yep, this person is acknowledging that they've destroyed this connection, or they've destroyed your trust. They're acknowledging that, like, now all that's left is memories, and they desire more, but they also understand that there's this element with this love card here of, like, first and foremost recognizing that they hurt somebody that they truly cared about, but also not wanting, with this love card here and energy here, as well as with death, there's also a desire here to not make things worse for you, to not add to the pain that they've already caused you. But that's what I'm seeing. With ghost here, I would also say that they're really reflecting and ruminating and thinking about things. They're reminiscing and kind of kicking themselves. But let's go ahead and get you guys some advice before we finish this reading. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to their connection? We have, I see grace and possibility in all of life's changes, and taking care of myself is a radical act of love. All right, pile 2. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this resonated, please feel free to share your stories in the comment section. I do read all of the stories that you guys share, and I find it fascinating and interesting seeing how things resonate for you guys. So thank you if you do comment, and feel free to comment if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. The link is in the description box of this video. And I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, pile 3. If you chose this 13-lined ground squirrel card, oh my gosh, the 13-lined ground squirrel card with the keyword remember and the question, what eternal knowing can I access in human form? Then this is going to be your reading on how your person is thinking that you feel currently. And how we're going to do it is we're going to look into oracles and see what the oracles are saying in terms of what they think you're feeling. We're also going to look into oracles to see how they think you're currently viewing them. And then we'll go ahead and get into tarot to see how these assumptions that they've made are making them feel. So we already have this card. We also have number 21, Stormy, number 29, Full Moon, number 3, Between Worlds, the Lover, number 5, Orphaned, and number 21, Rainbow Transference. Okay, so this person thinks that you feel all the feels for them. Like, they think that you see them in a very romantic way. You feel romantic feelings for them. But one thing that just stood out to me is that these cards here, so we have the flamingo looking this way, then we have the swan looking this way, and then we have the girl looking away. Like, they all have their backs to each other, and I get the feeling that they feel as though you feel like you're progressing into a place in which this connection, how do I want to say it? It seems like they think you are nervous about trusting this situation, or trusting just the amount of vulnerability that you have to put into a connection in order to be lovers, to be partners. And in doing so Between Worlds is giving me this energy of, like, they feel as though you feel called to move this connection into this kind of romantic partnership if you haven't already. It's also indicative of, like, feeling called to step away from perhaps narratives that are no longer serving you into something that can create a brighter future for you. And in that brighter future that you're feeling called to is this intimacy, it's this partnership, it's feeling these wonderful feelings for this person. But the fear comes once there's vulnerability, that there will be abandonment. This is what your person feels you're feeling. They feel as though you're very drawn to them, you want to be around them, you want to be with them, but there's a fear within you that if you were to open yourself up to this person completely, you would be abandoned. There might even already be this fear because perhaps there's been an argument of some kind with Stormy here. But I think that Stormy is also representative of just anxiety or like mental chatter, that mental noise, intrusive thoughts, things like that, that might be making you feel as though you're going to be abandoned. And they feel like this is something that is really affecting you right now. But also there's a lot of desire here still with the full moon. And with rainbow transference, there's a level of them thinking that you feel as though this is a very special connection. And at the end of the day, when the anxiety or the fears kind of calm themselves down or quiet themselves down, there's this knowledge within you or this quiet voice within you that reminds you that connecting with others and putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to be seen is actually really magical. They see you as somebody who is really, really practicing their bravery or their courage right now. That's what I would say. They seem to think you're feeling a great deal of lovely, warm, empathetic, butterfly type feelings towards them, and it kind of scares you. But then at the same time, you have wisdom within you that allows you to kind of calm yourself down, but the fears still arise every once in a while. So if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into how they think you are currently viewing them. And now, of course, this is all dependent on how, like, their opinions. This doesn't necessarily have to be the truth of how you're feeling by any means. But I do feel as though there should be some aspects of this that are resonating. If there isn't, this probably isn't your pile. There should be something that's sitting right with you right now when it comes to kind of what this person is perceiving, even if it's not on the dot. But when it comes to how they think you are seeing them, we have hedonist. The light attribute is inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself, and the shadow attributes are pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. We also have golden egg and trout, and the key word is sparkle. I think, truthfully, this person feels as though, even though there are these fears within you, there's still a level of trust toward them, within them. They seem to think that you trust them, or that you know them well enough to know that they are being authentic with you, that they're being honest with you, that they seem to think that you're viewing them as somebody who lives life as though it might be the only life they have, and so they don't want to waste it on doing things that they would regret. There's an aliveness to this person, an authenticity to this person that is very, very rare. They seem to be somebody who is very open about who they are, about wanting to be seen, about allowing others to see them. They seem to be somebody who's very comfortable in their own shoes, and truly wants to enjoy life, who wants to find joy, who wants to bring joy to others. And this is what they think you're seeing them as somebody who is fun-loving, authentic, and truthful. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into how it is that these assumptions that they've made make them feel. Okay, how does this make pile three's person feel? We have the Eight of Cups. We have the Two of Wands, the Sun. How does this make pile three's person feel? We have the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, okay. We have the Six of Swords reversed. Why is the Eight of Cups here? Okay, we have the Five of Wands. Why is the Two of Wands here? We have the Ten of Wands. Why is the Sun here? We have the Ten of Cups. Why is the Ten of Pentacles here? Okay, I'm just going to take the one that fell out. We have the Queen of Swords. And then why is the Six of Swords reversed? We have the Seven of Wands. And then on the back of the deck, we have the King of Swords. So we have the King and the Queen of Swords. So that's a good sign. They seem to, this person feels a lot of wonderful things for you. I mean, we have the Sun and the Ten of Cups. There's a great deal of joy. I think them feeling as though you love them, you care for them, you see them as worthy of opening up to, deserving of being handed your trust is something that brings them joy. They feel happiness is what I want to say, emotionally fulfilled. They feel a great deal of love, and they see you as somebody who has long-term potential. They definitely see you as a counterpart. But with this Ten of Pentacles here, I get the feeling that like they definitely have an understanding of what it is that they want out of life, and they see you fitting into it beautifully. I also get the feeling that they're okay with where you're at. It feels like there's a lot of peace when it comes to this connection and where it is currently. I get the feeling with the Two of Wands and the Ten of Wands that there really isn't a need within this person for a decision to be made right away, or for a certain path to be carved out right away. They seem to be somebody who feels like they feel very secure in this connection, very comfortable, and they don't want to add to any fears that would add burdens to you or to them. And I see it with the Eight of Cups and the Five of Wands as well. I see somebody who like feels trusting of where this connection is headed, feels secure in this connection, knows the truth of this connection, and because of this, there really isn't a need to feel as though this connection is being threatened. They feel as though they can take things slow and allow things to unfold naturally because they don't feel threatened in this connection. They feel very secure. But that doesn't mean that there isn't passion here. With the Seven of Wands here, there's a lot of fiery passion. This person is definitely attracted to you. They definitely don't want this connection to kind of dissipate. There's fire here that's it kind of feels like it's breathing life into this connection. And they don't want to put it out. But let's see if there's anything that I missed. How is pile three's person feeling? Yep, we have faith. There's such security here. We have mystery. Yep, and then hunger. Yep. And we have success. Yep. And on the back of the deck we have death. Yeah, there's faith is telling me that there's trust. This person trusts you. They feel like they can be trusted and like they can trust you. With mystery here, I get the feeling that it's kind of giving me the same Two of Wands energy with these two different towers here, or these two wands, or whatever you'd like to call them. And I get the feeling that they they want things to just kind of flow naturally. They feel enough trust and security in this connection to know that with time, things will come to light and there will be a clearer path for this connection. But right now, they seem to be pretty at peace. Like I was saying with the Seven of Wands, there's a lot of desire here, which is where this Hunger card comes in. But success is giving me the energy of the Sun and the Ten of Cups. This person feels as though they've hit the jackpot. I also feel like with Death here, there's a feeling of having been transformed, or having the path that they were currently on before they met you kind of coming to a close. Like things have changed for them based on the feelings that they have for you. It could also be, now that I think about it, because we did have the card Stormy, so it could also be that if you guys have been fighting with this Eight of Cups and the Five of Wands, if there has been arguments where now they think you're feeling worried or concerned about the future of this connection, what this is telling me is that they would rather walk away from a fight than like lose this connection, and they don't want the arguing or the bickering to continue. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice before we close this out. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to their connection? We have, I'm willing to see my sameness with others. This opens my awareness to oneness. What advice is there for pile 3? I accept the gifts I've been given as a high service to the world. All right, pile 3, well, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section. I love reading all the different ways in which your stories fit together and resonate with my readings, so please feel free to share. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. The link is in the description box of this video. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that I will have the opportunity to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, pile 4. If you chose the deer mouse with the keyword nest and the question, would more tenderness help? Then this is going to be your reading on how your person thinks that you are feeling. And how we're going to do it is I have oracles to show what it is that they think you're feeling. I have oracles to show how it is that they think you're currently viewing them. And then we'll get into tarot to see how these assumptions that they've made are making them feel. And not all of this is probably going to resonate. There are instances where perhaps this person is like spot on and very in touch with you. However, if nothing is resonating, if nothing sits right, it's probably because this isn't your pile. And there might not be a message for you, but something should resonate. Even though this is from their perspective, if they're in touch with your situation and you at all, there should be some things that are ringing true, or at least ringing to be valid from their point of view. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So we already have the deer mouse here. We also have number 1, protection, number 48, psychic, number 42, chop wood, the thread, number 12, a change in the wind, and number 2, slimy. Okay, so how does your person think that you are feeling? Okay, so this is a very specific message that's coming through. So this this may or may not resonate, and I understand if it doesn't, but it seems to me like your person is kind of under the impression that you might be worried that the spark is going out, or you might be worried that perhaps this person is getting bored in this connection. There's a feeling within you, according to them, from their point of view, of you needing to protect this connection in some sort of way, because there's the possibility of things changing, and you want the spark to stay alive. You want things to kind of stay spicy, perhaps, or at least allow for changes and excitement to come into this connection. With slimy here, this is typically about the feeling of jealousy. So there could be a concern within you, according to them, when it comes to another person. Like perhaps you feel threatened by an outside person. But it could also just be that this connection is a long-term connection, and there's the possibility of you simply feeling a little bit worried that perhaps the spark is kind of going out and wanting to kind of renew that or try some new things. They don't seem to think that you are disregarding them by any means with the thread and psychic here. They feel as though you feel deeply connected to them still, deeply aware of what it is that you want, deeply in touch with them. And you care about this connection. They seem to think that you feel very connected to them and like this connection is important. And because of that, you want to make sure that this connection is solid and secure. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So there's definitely an element of feeling insecure about something here. It could be another person. It could be simply they think you might be overthinking things. But yeah, that's what they think you're feeling. So if that resonates to a certain degree, let's go ahead and look into how they think you're currently viewing them. So when it comes to how they think you're currently viewing them, we have companion. The light attribute is loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness, and the shadow attributes are betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. We have Cobra, and we have the tortoise, and the keyword for the tortoise is longevity. So when it comes to how they think you're seeing them, they think you're seeing them as like potentially your life partner. If this has been like a long-term connection, they feel as though you see them as that life partner, that lifelong companion. They seem to think that and I see it with the tortoise too, with the keyword being longevity and the tortoise being such a slow-moving animal that lives on and on and on. It seems like they feel as though you view them as somebody who is very, very stable in your life, somebody who's not necessarily going away, somebody who perhaps is open to hearing your concerns or open to learning new things. But the Cobra is all about patience as well, or taking a pause, knowing when to appear, knowing when to take action on something, and also knowing when to kind of pull back. So this person seems to think that you see them as somebody who is aware of you and your needs, as well as somebody who is not going anywhere, somebody that can be trusted. So let's go ahead and look into how this makes them feel. How does Kyle Four's person feel about these assumptions? We have the Page of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the King of Wands, the King of Swords, sorry. Why is the Page of Swords here? Why is the Page of Swords here? We have the Eight of Cups. Why is the Knight of Wands here? We have the Eight of Wands. Why is the Four of Wands here? Why is the Four of Wands here? We have the Two of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Why is the Ace of Cups here? We have the Queen of Swords. And why is the King of Swords here? Okay, we have the Ace of Wands, and then on the bottom of the deck we have the Devil. Okay, so how do these assumptions make your person feel? this person really cares about you. I would say, like, if they've told you that they love you, if this is a connection that's been around for a long time, this love is absolutely still there. We have the Four of Wands, the Two of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. This is telling me that this is a feeling that is very stable. This feeling of love, of intimacy, is one that's very stable, very grounded, but also brings them a lot of joy. We also have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So they're viewing you as their partner, as a counterpart of some kind, somebody that they're very compatible with. But I also get the feeling that perhaps you putting in effort, or them feeling as though you want to change things up, or you feeling as though things have kind of gotten mundane in a certain way, according to them, makes them feel kind of excited for the opportunities that is going to allow the both of you to explore. And I see it with the Devil as well. I think that there's like a lot of physical attraction here, especially for your person. But they also seem to think that how you're currently viewing them, how you're currently feeling according to them, is also a really good opportunity for the two of you to kind of like revisit what made you to fall for each other in the first place. There's just like a spark of excitement for the newness. There's a spark of excitement for what's to come. And I see it here with the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands as well. There's passion here. This person feels passionate about you. And I would also say with the Page of Swords and the Eight of Cups that they don't feel this wandering eye that you may, depending on you know, your situation, that you may be thinking that you have to be concerned about. It seems like they're walking away from like kind of feeling curious about anything else. They feel like they have everything in which they need in this connection. But let's go ahead and get some more oracles, see if there's anything that I missed. What have I missed when it comes to what this person is feeling? Okay, we have mystery. Oh my goodness, we have frustration and anger. What on earth? Okay. Okay. And then we have abundance and fear and pain. Good Lord. And then on the back of the deck, we have anxiety. What is happening here? Okay. I'm gonna grab the oracle cards too. This is so, like, what? Okay, so just like let me grab these real quick. Let me just look and see if there's anything that I'm missing. Okay, so I would say that this person may feel somewhat threatened, or may feel I would say that they perhaps were kind of blindsided by what they think you're currently feeling. There's this like element of shock here, and it definitely came through as shock for me to see these cards, because this is not what I'm picking up on. And I think that there's a level of understanding that their guard is a little bit up. Like perhaps they feel somewhat embarrassed or insecure by, you know, with the card Chop Wood, this is a very boring card. It's like when two people kind of fall into the everyday chores and stuff like that, and the spark kind of dies out. And this could have been something that once they realize this might be what you're feeling, there's an element here. And keep in mind, you might not even be feeling this, but and it could be them projecting what they feel insecure about. But either way, there's this element of like feeling blindsided or insecure or embarrassed and like they're not enough, and it kind of hurts their feelings, or it did at first. But what they're realizing with this abundance card here is that just because this is something that like makes them feel somewhat uncomfortable, doesn't mean that it's not good. Like it might even be that the two of you have kind of reached a point in your comfort zone where there is no more growing, and you've kind of stepped out of it where there is the potential to grow, and this period of being outside of their comfort zone, or of seeing you outside of your comfort zone, is something that feels very threatening to them. But they also recognize, in all honesty, where the discomfort is going to lead to. Yeah, that one threw me for a loop. But I think now, like looking at this Page of Swords and the Eight of Cups, now seeing these oracle cards spread out like this, I think that there might be an element of them feeling curious about what it would be like to just walk away from this and not explore the things that are outside of their comfort zone, because it makes them uncomfortable. But I don't necessarily think that that is something that they would actually be willing to do, because there's such a curiosity for what's to come, and there's such a deep amount of love here. And I would say also an attachment with the Devil here. There's also a feeling of being attached to you. Yeah, man, that threw me off. If this resonated, I would love to hear about what's going on. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 4 when it comes to their connection? There is no such thing as a mistake. Everything happens in divine order. I am being guided to learn and grow. Okay, and we also have, I communicate with ease and grace. People are willing to embrace what I have to say. All right, pile 4, well, this is what I'm seeing for you. I'm sorry if that was a roller coaster ride. Please let me know if you have any insight as to what I was seeing here in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching these videos. This is something that I truly love doing, and if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. And I hope that I'll have the opportunity to read for you guys again in another video soon. Bye!